Hello, I'm Sheriff Bill Brown, bringing you this edition of the Sheriff's Roundup from our Sheriff's Office Communications Center, where our public safety dispatchers answer thousands of calls for service each year and serve as the critical lifeline between the community and first responders. In this edition, they'll share key tips about how the public can use text to 911 when seconds count. And finally, we'll walk you through coroner procedures and investigations. Text to 911 allows members of the public to send a text message directly to emergency dispatchers when they cannot call, do not feel safe calling, or have a hearing or speech impairment. This service is available countywide and is used by both the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office Communications Center and the University of California Santa Barbara Police Dispatch. To walk you through how text to 911 works, when to use it, and what information helps dispatchers respond quickly, I'll hand it over to members of our Communications Center and our partners at UCSB Dispatch.
In an emergency, every second matters.
Now here in Santa Barbara County, you have another way to reach for help. Text to 911. But remember, call if you can and text if you can't. A voice call is still the fastest and most effective way to get help.
Text to 911 is essential for people who are deaf, hard of hearing, or speech impaired. It is also critical in dangerous situations where speaking out loud could put you at a greater risk. It can also be used when you're experiencing a medical emergency and cannot speak on the phone. Texting may allow you to reach 911 even when talking isn't possible. Translation services are also available via text to 911. And during major network disruptions, voice calls may fail, but text messages often still go through, keeping help within reach. Text to 911 takes longer to relay pertinent information based on how a dispatch center receives information. Therefore, response times from a dispatcher will take longer than a voice call, but if texting is your only option, it's available, and dispatchers are here to assist you.
Here are some tips to using text to 911. Include your exact location. Dispatchers need to confirm where you are so they can help you. Use clear, plain language. Avoid emojis, slang, or abbreviations. Send one-on-one messages. Group texts won't reach 911. You may ask the dispatcher to call you if it becomes safe to talk. Text to 911 is for emergencies only. Every text is received and handled live by a trained dispatcher right here in our center. Your message is never automated. Real people are responding in real time. Text to 911 fills a critical gap when calling isn't possible. Dispatchers are trained to assist via text when speaking could put you in danger. Please note that text to 911 is available in all of Santa Barbara County, including all UCSB-owned properties. Remember, call if you can and text if you can't.
Text to 911. Help is just a message away.
Thank you to our dispatcher teams for demonstrating how text to 911 keeps our community safer and more accessible.
The Santa Barbara County Coroner has released findings after investigating the death of a 20-year-old UCSB student.
The work of the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Coroner's Office touches our community in ways most people never see. Our team is responsible for investigating sudden, unexpected, violent, or unattended deaths, supporting families, collaborating with medical professionals, and ensuring that every case is handled with accuracy and dignity. In this next segment of the Sheriff's Roundup, we'll take you behind the scenes as our coroner's investigators walk through how they respond to calls, conduct scene examinations, coordinate with our forensic pathologist, and provide compassionate support to loved ones during a very difficult moment. I'll hand it over now to our Coroner's Bureau staff to give you an inside look at their important and often unseen work.
Today we're going to give you a brief overview of what we do here and the process when somebody passes away, from the time that we're notified that they pass away until the time that the next of kin receives the death certificate. In the County of Santa Barbara, the Sheriff's Coroner's Office investigates all deaths. Because of that, all deputies that are on patrol are representatives of the coroner, who is Sheriff Brown. Anytime somebody dies in the County of Santa Barbara, there is an inquiry done into that death and a deputy is sent to that location. Now there's certain circumstances where we don't go, and that is if somebody were, for example, in a care facility on hospice care and they were an expected death. However, if there's anything that is suspicious or a homicide or a suicide or a traffic accident, anything that's accidental, we go to that and we investigate those deaths. When the sheriff's office is notified of a death, a deputy is going to gather information like who the next of kin is. They're going to ask if that decedent had any existing medical problems. And they're trying to basically paint a picture of what this person's life was like or what could contribute to their death. Then they're going to do an actual external examination on that decedent. And they're going to document all that stuff, take photographs, and they're going to send that over to the Coroner's Bureau and to our detectives here. And then our detectives here have a better picture of what they located on scene, and they start their investigation from there.
This room we have in our office is where the autopsies are performed and where body exams are performed by deputies and coroner's detectives. Autopsies are normally done only on homicides, child death, officer-involved shooting, jail death, and it can be one that's a natural as well if we have no underlying medical conditions for them to have passed away. It's an internal examination done by the forensic pathologist, noting the internal organs, any damage, any natural disease process, anything that would help him to come up with a cause of death for the decedent. Each organ is removed from the body by the pathologist. Each organ is weighed, examined, and dissected, and then placed into a formalin bottle to be saved for later time if need be. So in our autopsy room back over here beside me, we have a window that sees through one side to the other. So individuals who are their first time doing an autopsy can be on the other side of the wall, not be directly related, or in the room where there's smells and sounds that may be uncomfortable for them. And then as they progress or they get a little better, they could then move into the autopsy room.
A coroner's detective conduct an investigation as to the cause and manner of death, and that is all. If you look at a standard coroner's investigation, say for a homicide, the coroner's investigation is never going to list the suspect's name in it. For example, if somebody was shot and that's how they passed away, it would basically say that their cause of death would be homicide, but we would never reference the criminal aspect of that. There's two whole different bureaus for that.
We now know the name of the person whose body was found in an orchid pond over the weekend.
We try as best as we can to identify each and every person. If that is a process that we need to go through, one will be visual identification of them. If we're unable to do that, we will go through and do fingerprints on the individual. If their fingerprints are usable, we'll send them to our forensics bureau, who at that time will run them through the FBI, DMV, and other avenues in order to identify them. And if for some case that we can't identify them either way, we have a rapid DNA from Andy in our office. We could run DNA testing on them through the machine and get a result within 2 hours of confirmation of who the person is. But that's been a huge help for us, as it was with the Conception boat fire that we had not too long ago.
Sir.
For the last few years, we've had some serious issues with fentanyl and methamphetamine and basically lots of drug overdoses.
So one of the new machines that we have in our office is called the Roundup toxicology machine, and it will tell us the quantitative levels that are within the system of the decedent: fentanyl, meth, heroin, cocaine, alcohol, any prescription narcotics as well. And then from there, we can make the determination that yes, this is an overdose death or it was a contributing factor or not.
With this rapid toxicology telling us right away why somebody died, that provides the sheriff with the numbers of drug overdoses and what types of drugs are being overdosed on. And it gives him real-time statistics and numbers to report back on. I offer a nighttime visit to the Coroner's Bureau with junior high and high school age kids, and it's grown to be a pretty big program. But just being in that environment and talking to them about why people come there, especially young people that are having drug overdoses and things like this, really puts into perspective for them how serious it is.
On many investigations where someone's died in a traffic accident or, an unfortunate in a homicide, this is where we're telling families at the worst time. This is not something they've been prepared for. So we have to be as compassionate as possible, but also give them out the clear information that'll help them come to a closure in their loved one's death. Every family's response to a loved one passing away is different, and sometimes the circumstances dictate how families will act. We as detectives and deputies have handled multiple death investigations, but we got to remember that the families out there are mostly not prepared for this and have never gone through something as traumatic as the loss of a loved one.
We are dedicated to conducting thorough investigations and giving you the answers that you need, but we're also committed to handling all these situations with extreme empathy and compassion and giving you closure for your loved one's death.
Thank you to our coroner's office team for your professionalism and the respect you bring to every case, every time. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Roundup. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you for supporting us as we work to protect and serve our community.